So imagine what you could do with $25,000. For most of us, 25 grand is a lot of money. If you have 25 grand, you can take your family on an amazing vacation. Like you go to Hawaii, to Disney World, the Bahamas, go on an Alaskan cruise, something cool. Maybe you, with that 25,000, maybe you put it on a down payment to owning a home. Or maybe you pay down some debt that you have, a student loan or credit cards, or you can save it for your kids' college, retirement, things like that. 25 grand is a ton of money, and when you spend it, you want to make sure that you're getting something in return, and that's why I'm making this video. I spent $25,000 to work with Alex Albarran as a coach, not the whole 25 grand, but he was charging 25 grand for the year to work with him as a coach when I signed on with him, and in return for that money, that huge sum of money, I got absolutely nothing in return. No measurable results. I made no return on my investment, and that's why I'm producing this video right now. Before I signed on to work with Alex, I also went on the internet and searched Alex Albarran coaching review. I just wanted to see what people who had worked with him were saying, and at the time, there was no other information available from a third-party person who wasn't directly affiliated with Alex. There was no other reviews about his coaching available online. So that's why I'm making this video. So if you're interested or thinking about working with him and spending that money, he probably charges even more now, that you know exactly what you're going to get or not get in return for your investment. So as I said, at the time that I signed on to work with Alex Albarran, which was last year, he was charging $25,000 for the 12-month coaching program. So a little bit about me as some backstory so you understand who I am. I'm somebody who really believes very much in investing in myself. I've spent thousands of dollars on courses, coaching, ebooks, seminars, and things like that to achieve results that I wanted to achieve, and I have always gotten amazing results, and that's why I'm such a big believer in like getting educated. For example, in 2020, I spent a couple $1,000s working with an online personal trainer. I lost like 25 pounds in 16 weeks. I got shredded, washboard, six-pack abs for the first time in my life working with this coach. I got better results of working with an online coach for 4 months than I had in my previous maybe 2 or 3 years of lifting on my own, because I went straight to the source. This is what I'm saying. Like, I think the idea that you can go straight to somebody who has achieved the type of a result that you want to achieve and just find out exactly what they did and do it and replicate their process is like a massive life hack and a cheat code. Instead of trying to fumble around by yourself, you just go straight to the person who did what you want to do, and they'll tell you exactly what to do. So I really believe in getting, expert advice, getting coaching, working with mentors, and I do it all the time. So I got in great shape working with a personal trainer. Another example of what I'm talking about is that I spent thousands of dollars on ebooks, courses, things like that, on dating and relationships. And as a result of that, right now I'm in my dream relationship. I'm in my dream relationship with my 10 out of 10 dream person. And all this is because of the things that I learned from seminars, courses, coaching. I actually flew from Salt Lake City, Utah, where I live, to Washington, D.C. to work with one of my mentors for a whole weekend, like in a seminar, a group coaching seminar, and just learning some techniques and strategies and building relationships, connecting with people. And as a result, I'm able to be in this amazing relationship with like the love of my life. And things like that have happened to me many times when I just invested some money, got the result, and I was like, wow, that was money well spent. In the topic of like internet business, I actually have a previous experience where I worked with somebody doing an online coaching program, teaching you how to build a business online, where the program is that they will teach you how to make $10,000 in 30 days. So from doing that, I spent that money with them, invested that money, and I believe it was about $6,000 at the time, invested that $6,000, and I didn't actually make the whole $10,000 in the first 30 days, but I got really close. Within 30 days of signing on with this person and going through their program, I actually was able to sign and receive cash, like cash collected. Maybe I think it was like $7,000 or $8,000, and I got my first 3 or 4 clients in my coaching business within 30 days. So I'm saying all that to say that I'm a person who can get good results from working with coaches and consultants, and I'm a hard worker. I know how to achieve outcomes. I know how to take instruction. I have the blue collar mindset, military background. If I have a set of instructions to follow and a strategy to follow, I can execute and I can get results 100%. So when I signed on to work with Alex, it was really not even a matter of trusting him. I trusted myself. I was like, look, if he tells me what to do, I'll do it and I can achieve this result. So some of the criticisms I have of Alex's coaching is it's not a structured program. And I knew that when we were talking on the phone, when he did the sales call. But like I said, I trusted myself. I said, like, if this guy knows how to achieve this result, I know that I can follow his program and I can get to where I want to go. Unfortunately, the way that his coaching is set up, it's not really, for example, he doesn't tell you, hey, you're going to make X amount of dollars in X amount of time. There's no time limit. You're just going to work with him for 12 months. He doesn't promise you a specific result. There's no, what is he telling you that he's going to do for you? He's going to help you build a YouTube business. But in the time that I worked with him for 4 months. I didn't even get one single client from working with him. He was telling me, hey, make 2 to 3 YouTube shorts a week, make 2 long form videos per week, and just keep uploading them. So I started doing that. And like I'm saying, I did that for 4 months. The videos are now private on this channel, but I did produce the YouTube shorts and the videos that he was telling me to do. I was following some of his minimal advice. Like I said, the advice, unfortunately, working with Alex, the advice just wasn't very good. I feel like I've actually gotten more actionable advice on how to build a YouTube channel, how to create, how to create a business and courses and coaching from free content, from podcasts, from reading $100 Million Offers by Alex Hormozi. It was a $15 book. From reading, Traffic Secrets by Russell Brunson, another $15 book. I got more actual information and more useful advice from those books that cost almost nothing, $15 here and there, $12, free podcasts, and I did from spending thousands of dollars with Alex. And I'm not saying he's a bad person. This is not a personal attack on Alex Albarran. Most people who don't even know who that is. He's not a very famous coach at this time that I'm making this video, but if you've searched this on the internet, if you've come across some of his materials, maybe you're thinking about investing with him, so you've heard his name. And you've searched and you've landed on this video. All I am saying is, in return for the time that I spent following his advice, and I would get on the phone with him and I would take notes. I was a serious student. I would take notes. He was saying, hey, make these videos, do this, do that. And some of the advice seemed sort of counterintuitive, but he's the expert. He's so-called a marketing genius. I trusted him. I believed him. But after a while, I was not starting to see any results. And I remember texting him at a certain point, and I said, hey, I am doing these videos, I'm doing these shorts, nothing's happening. The ball is not even moving at all. I'm not getting any results. We're 4 months in. I told you before, I lost 25 pounds in 4 months and got in amazing shape, 6-pack abs, big chest, muscles in 4 months working with a personal trainer. So it's why is it that also made, I cash collected about $8,000 and signed 4 clients in my first month with another program. So I know that I can get results. So it's well, what is it about this program that I'm not seeing anything happen in 4 whole months of doing exactly what you've told me to do? Why am I not getting anywhere? And he was just oh, yeah, I should be fine. And just no real advice, no real actual coaching from somebody who I've paid thousands and thousands of dollars to coach me. And just basically what I felt from him, the vibe I felt from him is that he already had my money. He already had my money. I paid a down payment to work with him before we ever got started. And that was a pretty sizable chunk of money, several $1,000s. He already hit his lick no matter what. Even if we never talked on the phone ever again, he already hit his lick. So he kind of he didn't care. So there was that. The second problem that I have with Alex's coaching is at the time that I was working with him, which was just last year, there's no structure to it. If you go to school, they have a structure. If you go to a personal trainer, they have a structure that will give you typically a workout plan. Do these exercises, this many sets, this many reps, this many times a week, eat this many calories, this many grams of protein, fat, and carbs, and you will start to see a change in your body. And that's all anybody wants. When you work with a coach, it's because you want to get results. Anybody could watch YouTube videos, and I probably would have gotten better results from just watching YouTube videos and just implementing the things I read in books than what I got from wasting my money, frankly, wasting all that money to work with Alex. I didn't pay him the whole $25,000, but I paid him a lot of that, and it's money that even when I came to him and I said, hey, I'm not getting any results, I'm doing everything you're saying, this really isn't working out for me. And I tried to ask him for a refund. What about a refund? I'm doing what you're saying. I can show you the work that I'm doing, what you've said to do, and nothing's happening. Can we just work something out? I would really like a refund for my money. And he did not want to do that at all. He was very polite about it, professional and polite. He's no, we've worked together. I'm not going to give you a refund. And what I don't understand about that is that how can you charge me for a service when I haven't actually gotten the result that you claim that you were going to give me? And for me, I've worked as a coach before. I've actually been self-employed in businesses before, remodeling houses and things like that. If I wasn't able to achieve a result from somebody that I told them I could achieve for them building a business in this case, I definitely would feel obligated to refund them or make that person whole and not just keep their money and be well, it sucks to suck. Which is really the attitude that I feel like he had. I don't want this video to be too long. The main problems that I had was that, number one, I got 0 results Zero results, zero return on investment, blew all that money, basically just threw that money away working with Alex Albarran. And then secondly, the program is not really structured. He'll just call you on the phone. I didn't really feel like I had a coach in the sense of somebody who was like guiding me and helping me. It would be so easy for him to provide me or his clients with resources. Hey, do this. And then also some progress, like indicators of your progress. For example, maybe he could say, hey, at month 4, this is what you should be seeing. At month 5, this is what you'll be seeing. At month 6, this is what you'll be seeing. And not just offer me phone calls on the phone. That is what I bought. I just expected him to have more strategy. I expected him to have more knowledge of what was going on. And I expected him to be able to communicate his knowledge in a better way, and it just didn't. It got to the point where I just got frustrated. And I was like, this is not going to work. I'm certainly not going to keep sending you money for nothing while I keep making YouTube videos into the void, not getting any coaching, any feedback from you. It's like, it's as if he thought that I was just sending him money just to send it to him. And then I was going to be okay with you just, getting on the phone. It sounded like you're scrambling eggs in the background with no real guidance and no real system. There's no system. You're just calling him on the phone, at least when I was doing the program. You're just calling him on the phone. And he's like, oh, try this, try that. It's very loose and haphazard. And in exchange for the amount of money that we're talking about, it's just totally unacceptable. So in conclusion, I just like to say, go before you sign on with any coach. Number one, first mistake that I made was I paid that big down payment in the front before getting any results. And the reason why I was kind of so gullible about it is because I've never had a bad experience in the online space with courses and coaching. I've just never happened upon anybody who was selling a bullshit product. And unfortunately, working with Alex, it was just bullshit. Or at least to me, I had nothing to show for his courses. And if you have worked with Alex, please leave a comment down below or make your own video and let people know what results that you got. It could possibly just be me, but I don't think so. I just don't think his programs, it's not a program. It's just some phone calls. It's not very well thought out. It's not structured. And how can you achieve a result in anything when somebody's just getting on the phone with you, telling you, oh yeah, just make some more videos? I was just very disappointed in that. And most importantly, I was disappointed that he wouldn't honor a refund when I had worked so hard with him, was doing what he told me to do and wasn't getting anywhere. It would be one thing if I wasn't really working hard and if I was just laying down, sitting on my hands, expecting money and clients to fall out of the sky, but that really wasn't the case. I actually was working quite hard on producing the content that he was telling me to do. And as I said before, the videos are on private, but they are there. I was producing those videos, like he said, when we were working together, 2 to 3 shorts a week, 2 to 3, long form videos a week, and just nothing was happening. He wasn't really giving me the kind of feedback and coaching that I would really expect at any price point, not to mention for 25 grand, and it might be probably more now. So before you get on the phone and read that credit card number off to Alex Albarran, I really encourage you to not do it. I really encourage you to find another coach who has more testimonials, more results for more people, and is not just kind of a fast-talking hustler type of person. Maybe Alex is probably good at doing internet marketing, but maybe he's just not as good at coaching, because oftentimes somebody who is really good at doing something naturally isn't the best person at coaching or teaching the way that they do things, because they have just a different way of looking at it. Really, I just want to jump on here and make this video very quickly because I just thought, man, I can't get my money back, and it's something that really eats at me. I just feel sick to my stomach when I think about wasting that money working with this guy, talking to him on the phone. I just feel sick to my stomach about it, and I don't want anybody else to fall into that trap. So anyway, you guys have a blessed rest of your day. Do your research. Don't fall into these scams. Don't let people manipulate you emotionally, and make sure that before you work with Alex Albarran, make sure that you don't just take my word for it. Get other people's perspectives and viewpoints. Some of the comments of his videos, he does have some disgruntled students I've seen leaving comments, but I was the first person that I know of to jump on here and make a video about it. So be safe. Thanks for watching. Bye. Hit the like button.